Good morning, I'm out near Doncaster today. Another disused railway explore. Lovely weather as well. It's hammering it down today. This behind me here is Cadeby Tunnel, and I'm going to be having a look today at the stretch of the Hull and Barnsley Railway between Sprotbrough and Cadeby, or Denaby, depending on how far we get.
So as I mentioned, today we're on part of the Hull and Barnsley Railway, specifically the branch to Denaby and Cadeby that was known as the South Yorkshire Junction Railway. Now, we have been on the Hull and Barnsley Railway before, and we've seen another section of this line from a previous video back at Wrangbrook Junction earlier this year. Now, we're looking at the orange line that I've highlighted, and we can see the Wrangbrook Junction there at the top, and down at the bottom is the end of our line at Denaby. Now, the line opened in 1894, but although there were stations along the line, passenger services only lasted a pitiful 9 years. Freight traffic lasted a lot longer, with traffic ceasing in the 1960s, although some parts we will see today did keep some activity via the collieries well into the 80s. The line was 11 miles long in total, but today we're looking at the last few miles at the southernmost end between Sprotbrough and Cadeby.
So this is just north of Sportbrough station. So the old line went off in that direction, up towards Wrangbrook, and in there somewhere, down towards Sprotbrough station and up towards Denaby. I'm hoping this is coming through on camera, but you can see you can see the platform still in place down there in the cutting. Can't get near that, unfortunately. That's on private land, and we're not going to try trespassing or going into people's property. We're on a proper footpath where we are at the moment, where it's quite heavily boarded off. They don't want people seeing, by the looks of things. This conveniently, this fence has come down so we can see over the top of it. So that's the site of the station now. It has been temporarily knocked down, I do believe they're in the process of trying to rebuild it. So we're a bit far away. If you can see the two chimneys there from the old station building. You can see a fireplace there. Still see the old platform down here. We did come on the road at the other side, but there's just, there must be 10-foot high boarding up. It's just impossible to see.
So let's have a look at Sprotbrough station. This is the view people are probably most familiar with recently. Like the line, it opened in 1894 and was closed to passenger services in 1903. In this photo from track level, it still looks to be well kept, even though it would have only been dealing with goods by that time. And until very recently, this was the view from the road of the old building. Those chimneys are visible that we just saw. I've no idea of the future of the station building or if it will ever return, so please let us know if you have any idea. One further point of interest from the station, take note of the signal box circled here. Fundraising is ongoing in the hope that this will be restored on the Yorkshire Wolds Railway near Fimber. Here's the road bridge over Nursery Lane, which is quite a minor road really, but it's quite an impressive sized bridge.
The old red brick underneath. So this is just on the road up from that goes past the boat in Sprotbrough, if anyone knows it. So we are on top of that bridge. We've just been stood down there on that road. It's really high up, and the trackbeds, or what's left of the trackbed, is raised above the top of the bridge, so we can't even see the abutments. But right, as I suspected, we ain't going any further in that direction. I'm not crossing any fences or anything like that or going onto private property. It looks like the trackbed that way. You can see the buildings at the station that have been built on the old station site straight through there. But that's a shame, but I kind of expected that anyway. So we'll crack on in the opposite direction and see how far we can get up towards Cadeby and Denaby. Yeah, so it is a really big embankment up here. It's down the side of it there. I mean, it has been closed a hell of a long time, this line. And I remember spent most of my childhood riding around bikes around this area, and it's always been the same. It's never really been accessible as such. So the answer to the question, how far can we get, isn't very far legally. Now, big barbed wire fence up, the railway line goes in that direction, which I know there's some quite interesting things, but I'm not going to be filming myself trespassing on other people's land, going past signs with quite stern warnings that there's no right of way. So we'll walk around and see what other options are available to us. So perseverance has paid off. We've not crossed any fences, passed any no entry signs. We've just followed the footpath and we've just come out to this fantastic cutting. Look at this. I saw this on photographs and I was really worried that I was going to miss out on it, unless I wanted to cross a fence or something like that. So looking up that way is the way we should have come if we were able to walk down the railway line. I mean, it would be easy to jump over the fence, but I'm not going to be putting that on YouTube, if I'm being honest. But it looks like they have erected some quite large stones at the end there, just to deter people, cyclists, motorbikes. So yeah, that's blocking where we would have liked to have come. You can get over there if you really want to, but I don't think we've really missed anything. 100 yards of clambering through trees, so I'm not too disappointed. So we'll carry on, see how far we can get going. I thought this was going to be an absolute washout, to be honest, so glad we come across this cutting. So we'll leave that cutting behind and we'll carry on heading up what used to be the old track bed. So won't be long before we start hitting the quarry on the way into Cadeby. Not expecting to find anything in the way of signals, sleepers, infrastructure left behind. Nice fence post down there, and you do know it's slim pickings when you do come across fence posts like this covered in ivy. That one, isn't it? At least it lets you know that you're still on the right track. Another day, another pitch black wooded, tree covered filming location, but that's the telegraph pole there, and there's the tensioner. Let's move that stick out of the way. We've got the light out because look what we've just come across here. That's the top of a telegraph pole. It's still got the fixtures and fittings on there. Look at that, there's still the insulator. Wow, Russ, if you're watching. So that's a little bit, got the floodlight out now. It's got no writing on that. So yeah, there's no markings on that. So there's that bottom of that telegraph pole. And there's the tensioner. Hopefully. What I've just been saying, I always say, you know, I don't think there's going to be much to see, and then I'll always guarantee that I'll come across something after I say that. So carrying on down the track bed. Still a public footpath. It is hammering it down again now. We're under the trees, so we're getting quite a bit of shelter, but it's as always when you're under trees, you get still get a lot of water coming through, big drips. But we're still carrying on down this cutting as far as we can go. And the cutting's just getting deeper and deeper. Look at that's like an old brick retaining wall, isn't it, that? Same on that side. Right, we've had a good stretch through that cutting. That's been a really nice walk. Really nice to walk through a cutting like that that's not been sanitised, but that's about as far as we can get down there. So we're going to have to do a little bit of a detour just to get up towards Cadeby Tunnel.
I do hope the rain and the lighting conditions didn't spoil the trip through that cutting. It was really dark. So just to help you find that cutting, we entered it from Sprotbrough Nature Reserve. And it was a decent stretch, but we could only get as far as the quarry. And from there, you've either got to double back on yourself and walk back, or try your luck with one of the minor footpaths down to the Transpennine Trail on the River Don.
And there's the Conisbrough Viaduct. That's on the Dearne Valley line that basically goes over the top of Hull and Barnsley Railway. She's a beast, isn't she? So that's looking down from the side of the River Don now. A nice lattice steel bit in the middle there going over. Old concrete sleeper here. It's been turned into looks like there's quite a few being used as gate posts. Absolutely sodden now. It's been hammering it down. We've just had about a couple of miles walk down from Sprotbrough, a bit of a detour, a bit longer than I thought was the detour, to be honest. So we're just coming up. We're just on the lookout now for Cadeby Tunnel, and the tunnel's in here. Again, pitch black. There she is.
So let me just explain what's going on in this location. So we can see Cadeby Tunnel there on the orange line. That's the line we've just walked down on from Sprotbrough. We've got the blue line there. That's the existing line. That's the Doncaster to Sheffield Railway line. And we can see there's another tunnel there, Conisbrough Tunnel, which runs adjacent to Cadeby Tunnel. And then we've got the Dearne Valley line, which on here is green, and that's at a higher level. And that approaches our site across the Conisbrough Viaduct. So that goes over the top of both those other lines.
So just walking down, this is not half as muddy as I've been warned it would be. We've come on the wettest, probably the wettest day of the last 6 months. It's hammered it down. Doesn't look too bad, does it? It's a bit slippy going down here. Just hold on to the side. It's only a small tunnel. One track wide. So, brick lining on the top. There's a bit of an assault course getting in. Oh, ankle deep in mud there. Whoops. You alright?
Yeah, I just...
So, them tyres aren't as...
I'd be already tired.
They're not as stable, are they? Oh. Right, I'm using the phone. It's a lot better in dark conditions videoing, but there is a little bit of flickering, so I'm really sorry about that. Please don't abuse me in the comments. So here we go. Nice little white lined refuge points. Couldn't remember the word then for refuge points. So it's not a very long tunnel. Can already see the end there. And that's looking back where we've come. Yeah, I don't do very many tunnels. As you can see, I don't have a fantastic array of equipment. That is a doll's leg. Now, you know this tunnel's haunted? I have been warned it's haunted. I haven't read up on the stories.
Personally speaking, I can't say I believe in ghosts or paranormal activity, but then again, I can't say I've ever experienced it. Now, a quick Google search in terms of this tunnel shows multiple suicides, miners, and a few different stories of an unexplained policeman appearing with a torch. And of course, the better known urban legend of the Mexborough Ragger, a young gypsy girl who was killed in the tunnel by a train many years ago. The remains of the doll that we saw was claimed to be what she was carrying when she was killed. However, I do admit that the clouds of condensation that the camera captured were quite eerie. I didn't notice them until looking back at the footage. Anyway, let us know of your experiences if you visited the tunnel in the comments below.
Yeah, once you get past that first 10 yards, the surface and the floor's fine. And the fence is down at the end, so I think we'll get to see another little bit of track bed at this end as well. Quite sure what that was. And there's the portal at the other end, so that's the, what do you call it, a north portal, eastern portal? I don't know which way we're pointing right now.
So when you come out of the entrance of the pathway down to Cadeby Tunnel, you come out onto a concrete path. It is a bit misleading. You'll be forgiven to think that you're carrying on the trackbed for the Hull and Barnsley Railway. But in fact, that concrete path is the Dearne Valley Railway, which came off of the Conisbrough Viaduct, which you can see here as the green line on this map. So these next few shots of this strange bridge is actually on the Dearne Valley Railway, not the Hull and Barnsley.
I do remember this bridge from my childhood, cycling when it wasn't as pleasant and tarmacked back in those days. But I always remember what a weird angle this bridge is. And I still don't know if it's a road. It's not a very wide road, is it? So just to answer a previous question, that's on top of that weirdly angled bridge now. And there's no road on here, it's just a footpath by the looks of things. More concrete sleepers. Some here just discarded. Still got their fixtures and fittings on, just on the side of the road, side of the path. So we've just veered off that tarmac road that we was on and we just crossed over this, and we're assuming this is the track bed. Steps down either side and it lines up perfectly with the alignment of the entrance to the tunnel, just in that direction. So that's good. I thought we'd actually lost the Hull and Barnsley Railway for a moment. But anyway, that's the end of the journey really for the Hull and Barnsley Railway. So it's still raining. I'll sign off now. We're off to have a look at Conisbrough Viaduct, which I'm doing on a separate video. So cheers for Paul. He's not been on camera much, but he's been with me today. He's a bit camera shy, bless him. Yeah, another one. I don't think this was railway line. Yeah, I'm getting distracted there. So yeah, as always, cheers for watching, thanks for your support, and I'll see you soon. Did someone say let's go out exploring today?